No, I love the meetings where you can go into and not know the backstory as well. Because
you
I feel
start
like when
over.
you know the backstory, you already have thoughts in your mind.
Yep.
So going in and just
Going in like it was day one, it's probably why they thought that meeting was so thorough, because I literally treated it like I did a referral meeting. Like, tell me all your things. Let's start over. Get this party started.
I had the best phone screen this morning.
Yeah.
The best. And it brings me back to our roots. And that's what I love about it. And that's why it's so hard for me to get out of the field, is because it reminds me of why we do what we do. And I'm on this phone screen and she's like, I think I know who you're talking. It's such a small community. I mean, you're talking a village. We're not talking a city. We're talking a village. It's like, I think I know who you're talking about. And I said, well, I can't disclose, right? Not until we get to the interview process and they confirm they want to interview you. And she's like, if it is who I think, I would love it. She goes, she's from the school district. She's very familiar. And she's like, absolutely. Like, that would be a position that I absolutely love.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I'm just like, wow. It's a breath of fresh air. And it's like, again, it's small communities come together and they rally and they take care of each other.
Mm-hmm. That's why I really enjoyed Egg Harbor. Because it was the same outcry. Like, someone posted in there, it was the paper, and all of a sudden 8 applicants from a one publication.
Right. A printed ad that most people would be like, you're never going to get anything out of it.
And they do. And it was the right people, because I do think in that community anyway, it was like that. Everyone who applied was like that newer retiree age. And it was like the perfect fit, like absolutely perfect fit.
Yeah.
While I was in Shawano, I stopped at the Messenger and learned about their classifieds as well. Pretty much same exact vibe. I read through one of them. They do a great job. So hoping, I told her, I'm like, I think print's coming back.
It is. I agree. I think everything pivots and we pivot with it. So when one like online job boards, you see a lot. Job boards aren't doing anything right now.
Dying.
And it's a hard time of year. It's tax season. It's a hard time of year. Anyone in the recruitment platform, they just know.
Yep, everyone's tax rich right now.
We have to wait for another month or two before.
Yep, they'll be broke again.
Yep,
they need side hustles.
So we watch that very closely on our end, like what's working, what's not working, and when it's not working, then we're not going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to pivot. And so social media is a big one, and it's a hot topic right now. And then our very small communities, that printed material, because not only is it printed, it's usually published on their website as well. So those that like to read the newspaper online. I noticed our little Wapaka Town Buyer's Guide published that they won't be doing it anymore.
What?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah. So our paper's going away.
That blows my mind. That's surprising. So like maybe the travel guide. Because it's too touristy there.
And I don't know for a fact. Maybe they're just going to online and they're not doing printed.
Possible.
I'm not sure. But there's a couple different little papers like the Touristy and the Chain of Lakes and things like that. They have their stuff. But a lot of it is social media driven nowadays.
Yep. Hey, I'm for that too. Mm-hmm. I think that once we get into a groove with it, we are going to be very successful. Because it's got to be better than what we're doing. The job boards are just not where it's at right now.
Yeah.
At all. And it's just the same applicants over and over again. Like the names just keep resurfacing week after week. So it's people we've already spoken to or already employed, place with people kind of thing.
Shauna had one yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before. And she goes, I'm sorry. I just applied for unemployment. I'm sorry to waste your time. And I'm like, remember them days? Remember them days where before COVID, we used to be able to report that, right? And then COVID hit and they took away that reporting.
That needs to come back too. Because that's a lot of times what it is. My biggest frustration is the caregiving jobs that we post are so specific to their need. They couldn't be more caregiving centered if you tried. And then you'll get a forklift driver.
Yeah.
Wasting my time. Because it's not that he wants a career change or to try something new. We are appeasing a government entity's process. And it makes me so mad because I still have to call them.
Right.
Be like, so this person needs to be straight cath 3 times daily. Are you okay trading in that?
No, I just need a check.
Yep.
I just need a check mark.
No, I just need to. I just need to report that I've been searching. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
So you don't want to interview?
No. We'll pass this one on.
Yep.
No.
But those ones really make me mad. Like, gosh, you have no experience in the industry. I have had a couple males, though, that have wanted to genuinely break into the industry. And these entry-level jobs are perfect for it. Because you'll either love it or hate it, and you'll know right away.
Yep.
Because you'll really hate facility-based work if you hate this.
Yeah, if you can get into the field in this realm, it's just that personalization. It's so much more personal, and you really learn that human-to-human interaction versus running up and down the hall.
Changing 12 people's briefs in 1 hour just to switch it all over the hour next.
Hearing the call light in your head nonstop.
Yeah, if they work at all.
If they work. I woke up one night when I first got in the field, and I was pressing the wall trying to turn off the call light. That was
in your
dreaming
head.
of it. Yeah.
Last night when I was trying to go to sleep, I kept hearing a buzzer, and I'm like, where am I? And then I half fall asleep. Where am I? I still don't know what it is. My daughter's Kindle must have been playing something, but I kept hearing it. I'm like, where am I? Like, do I need to be somewhere? Oh, because it was like one of those like ding dong kind of a thing. Like, gosh, this is so annoying. Yeah, those PTSD moments of facility-based care. Running around. So what was the highlight of your week?
Oh, the highlight. It's been a week. Let me tell you, it's been a week. Nothing to do with work. Work has been absolutely amazing. Loving every minute of it. But it's just been a week, and there's been people there. Sometimes I just have to shake my head, like how rude some people can be, and how loud, and feel like they have to make a point, and I'm just not necessarily sitting here and okay. But no, it's been a week, but the sun is shining today finally.
Oh, thank God.
It's been, hopefully winter is finally over. I think everybody needs some vitamin D and needs some fresh air and to get outside.
I need the sunshine though to match the temperature.
That would be great.
Because it's still like I look outside, I'm like, this is great, and it's like moist and cold outside.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually. But the highlight of my week, so yesterday I was on, this self-direction center. They are nationwide, recently started following them, and they did a webinar yesterday, and it's called The Huddle. And I realized that how vastly different self-direction is from state to state. And I honestly felt like a fish out of water. I'm like, wow. You would think I haven't been in this field at all. Like
and that's that blows my mind, because then you go to the conference, the self-directed conference, where honestly I assumed that every state had the same ish definition. Yeah. What you explained was so vastly different that I'm like, how do we call that all self-direction? Right.
I'm intrigued. I am so intrigued. I will be at the National Self-Direction Conference that they are hosting this year and come May. And I am just so intrigued to talk to different states and different representatives and just different contacts in this world, because listening. So what I loved about this webinar, and they call it, this isn't your grandma's webinar. It's not like a PowerPoint where somebody's reading. It was more of a panel, and it was real life experiences. And yesterday's topic was budget authority. And I was shocked of everybody. And there were comments left and right about they have never seen their budget. they don't know how to read their budget, or they don't even have a say in how to move things around in their budget because they don't know what's on their budget. It's, you have this amount of money, go do this, or this is for this. And I'm like, wow, I shocked, absolutely shocked. And that seems to be the consensus,
it
because
doesn't surprise me.
I just had a conversation weeks ago with a guardian who says, I've never seen my budget. So we're going to have some people on here in the upcoming weeks, and I'm really excited to learn, because now I am intrigued. I just want to absorb all of this information and knowledge and realize that Wisconsin is its own game here versus other places. And what I've really learned is support brokers are not the same in every state.
That part, yeah. When you told me that, I'm like,
yeah,
people are private paying support broker services.
Yeah,
That's
and
wild.
they're different. So the term support broker seems to be a widely known term, but in different states, they do different tasks. So me or us as a support broker, if we go to like Minnesota or California, it's different than what we do here. So just the changes, like state to state, and how they operate things, I just need to know. I need to know more. And that's the reason behind this whole podcast that we started, right? We want to spread self-awareness and spread awareness about this field, but we also want to learn, because I feel like we're the only little puzzle piece to this.
So small. In the grand scheme of this, we're so small.
Yeah.
There's so much more to learn.
You only know what you know. So we're in this little slice of self-direction, and there's so much more that I want to understand, because the more that we know and understand, the better we can help serve our members.
Absolutely.
That are out there. So
yep. And the more we understand about the systems at play, yeah, we can advocate better when we truly have an understanding of it.
Yeah.
Hence the reason for the fiscal agents and all the people we'll be speaking to is really understanding how they fit into it, and then how we fit into their process.
Yeah.
And then you've got the member or the participant in there as well.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of personal real life stories. We'll be having people joining us to share their real life story about their experience of self-direction and the advocacy piece of how important it is to be able to have the ability to self-direct their own care.
Yeah. And what that means in, I think, their specific situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just like going through my brain, like, who do I have on my caseload or have I met that's actually negotiated their rates?
Right.
No one?
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone that's said that I've negotiated my rate for this service. Because that's part of it. Like, they're supposed to be able to negotiate their rates.
They should.
To fit into a budget that they've never seen.
Yes. I see a lot more of, especially on the IRIS side, a lot more IRIS consultants trying to negotiate rates than members.
Would you call that negotiation, though?
No. It's more like, this is what you get. And
yeah.
Good luck working with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it boils down to choice. Self-direction is supposed to be all about choice. And this is our advocacy piece, right? And this is one of our pet peeves, is sometimes choice isn't always there.
It's not.
And we don't have a true understanding as to why. And sometimes it's not our place, and we recognize that. But when you're in a program that is meant to be about choice, there's not always an option.
Mm-mm. No, and I think that's why there's, at times, not always, but at times, there's a lot of hostility that grows between the members and their care team. Because they're be given instructions, not choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a breakdown in communication. So I think like things fester.
Yeah.
Especially when they went into it believing that they would have more choice than they do.
Yeah. I can see that. And sometimes we kind of get the middleman get drug into it, and we're
Definitely.
Like, not us.
I don't want it. I don't want it. No.
We're only here for this. But, all we can do is refer them back. And if you're truly not happy, you can revisit the ADRC, and you still have choice.
Yeah, you have agency in that. Yeah, there's still choice.
Yep.
It's just that too, though, is just like another daunting piece of the puzzle. Like, just one more thing I have to do, one more meeting, and sign paperwork and do all the things over. I'm assuming for a lot of people, because I felt it. It's just like, is the work worth it, or is the fight more fun? For some of our members, the fight's more fun.
It is. I think that, yes. Well, and I think a lot of them, they just want their voice heard, right? They're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure their voice is being heard. And again, that comes with the self-direction program. Your voice should be heard because it is your care. It's your life. You still have your choice. Still have consequences sometimes, but that is your choice. And just like you and I, we have choice in our everyday life. So should everybody else.
I think the common term on their end is it's a risk agreement. I feel like that they rename that something like it's your choice agreement, it would feel a little less threatening.
I can see that.
Because I feel like at any time that there is something that they're making a choice that is going to have a consequence, it gets put into like that format of the risk. And it is a risk. That is at the end of the game what it is. It's a risk that you're taking, but it's also choice. Like, I don't have to sign a risk agreement when I make a questionable decision. Right. But they do.
Right. Yep. So there's a lot. Do you run into that quite often where you're like, this just isn't even worth it? Like, I'm just going to let this go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in my personal stuff with having care providers, oh, yeah. It's just not worth it. And because I have the benefit of a little bit of knowledge. So I'm like, this is not a fight that I'll ever win. And so I'm just going to let it go. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to do that.
Very hard. Especially when you have a team that like you just aren't seeing eye to eye with. That when I did switch the MCO provider, we were never going to see eye to eye. Like, that wasn't a relationship that was going to work. And my son wouldn't have gotten the care that he needs, in my opinion. So the switch was necessary. But there are little things like, are we going to fight over like an hour of care or a wage? I personally wouldn't, unless I was going to lose a caregiver. But in my opinion, because I know the industry, $16.32 an hour for one-on-one care is actually a really good wage. It's a really, really good wage. We're all worth more. I get that. But in the grand scheme of the industry, $16.32 an hour to care for one person is such a good rate.
Right. Because what are facilities running at nowadays?
Like 19 to 21.
But you're caring for 20 to 30 people.
That's facility-based care. So and you have to have all your certifications and stuff like that. So you have to go through all the training. But yeah, you're responsible for one, you have no flexibility. You work what you work. Like what you're assigned to work. If you don't, you're get on. But yeah, you're also responsible for anywhere. I was in an AFH, anywhere from 6 humans to a wing of people, depending on the size of the facility and what they're willing to run. Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, is $16.32
still a very, very good rate
for one-on-one. And the relationship that you're able to develop. One thing that when I was in a nursing home working, you just wanted to have that time, to give them that time and attention, but you couldn't. You're just constantly on the go. It's almost like an assembly line. Right?
And from like the administrative standpoint, like getting to know the residents was hard because there's so much pressure from the top to follow code and to stay within budget. And so like you're almost set up to make enemy with the residents because from the top, it's not set up to like really give the residents the best quality of life. It's to make sure we keep as much money at the top kind of a thing. So yeah, you don't get to meet and like build rapport with them even from an administrative standpoint.
Well, the rule was don't get too close.
I know. Well, I swear that was one of the biggest challenges coming into this side of it, because most of the caregivers do end up with some kind of a personal relationship with these families.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised in healthcare. Boundaries. You don't share about your kids. You don't talk about your husband. You don't share anything. And that goes both ways. When I was managing the home health agency, like we would tell our new orientees that the most you can take from a resident is a chocolate chip cookie because of just liability. So yeah, like, but I've got caregivers now that eat full meals with, and we're advertising for that. Like my one in Algoma, they will often share their dinner meal with their staff.
Yeah.
And they sit as a family.
Yep.
That's very normal. And that's a challenge for me. That is a challenge.
Well, we have our one that they take their care provider on vacation.
Yeah.
They get a vacation on it. They get to go to Florida.
That's so cool.
And they become family. So when I was there last, it's not only are we going on vacation, but the respite position is taking this individual to their home. They become their part of the family. They go to family events even. So yes, you have boundaries, but I feel like them boundaries are member specific.
Yeah.
And the members are the employers, so they get to set them boundaries. Again, their choice.
Yep.
We don't have to agree with them.
We just have to
it's
provide the education.
Their choice. Yes.
Yes.
And there is a lot of education that goes into it just for a different point of view of, yes, you get to have this option. This is your choice. Just as an employer standpoint, this is some consequences that could come or some challenges that might come along with it. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you what you're able to do.
Yep. Same. I think the one piece of education that comes up more often than not is bringing kids to work.
Yeah.
That is one thing that at the end of the day, it is their choice who they let in their home. But the education that I provide is if you do allow them in your home, you are liable for the child. The adult, their caregiver, is covered by work comp.
Yeah.
That child is just a straight up liability.
Right. Yep.
So if he's hurt if you run his feet over with your wheelchair, or he falls out like off your toilet and hits his head, like we've got a situation.
Yeah.
So I provide those bits of education. And then the other one that comes up a lot is the exchange of cash.
Yes. Yes. Especially within the first couple of weeks. And I'm floored by the amount of stories I hear of, I don't have gas money. I can't come to work because I don't have gas. And I'm thinking, and we discuss this in detail I do anyways on my phone screens and during the interview process. There is no cash. This is not a cash deal. You are paid by the fiscal agent, and this is the pay period, and this is your first pay date. But the audacity of some people to be like, you have to pay me to come to work. That's not how this works.
Nope. I had a member that was picking her staff up for work every day. I'm like, wait, what?
You're supposed to be here to help me, but I have to go get you to come help me.
Yeah. And it was happening for a good while before she finally called me and said, I need a new caregiver. This is not working. I'm like, clearly that should not be happening. And there was a couple times that she let the caregiver keep her car. I'm like, oh my God. Oh God. Like, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? So boundaries are important, but it is their choice. But
yeah.
You know, we've often said it, allowing them to make the choice and then being the soft place to land when the consequence comes, because it often does in some way, shape, or form, whether it just be the loss of a caregiver or an instance of fraud, or misappropriation. We'll be there to kind of soften the blow.
Fraud is a big topic right now.
Is it? Well, in general, but did you hear more?
Oh, yeah. So Minnesota and Wisconsin, I know for sure.
Oh, Minnesota's under the
huge.
Yeah, there couldn't be a brighter spotlight on that state right now.
And I feel like because and as they should, there's a lot more oversight. I wish I would have wrote it down. I was just reading an article last night about 3 different fraud cases in Wisconsin, and they're all Medicaid fraud, unfortunately.
I don't know why that's such a big target. Maybe because it's so easy at first. They do get caught and it's a big deal, but I do think in the beginning it's probably a little easier to get away with it until it's found out.
Right. We were talking yesterday and you had to mention, where does it start? Does it start just a coffee. Just one, just one, and then that was easy, and then let's take it a little further. I'll never understand it. I mean, when anyone who's in this field is in this field to help others, and that's a big word, help. that should be your intention, right? But what we have learned is not everybody has the integrity to do it as well.
Mm-mm.
And
that's just it, like what you get into it, and you sold somebody on your integrity to get into it.
Right.
So I'm still so curious, like how that falls apart.
Right.
Like, yeah, like, and like you clearly have enough. You are pulling a salary that's legit. So like you have enough. Why do you need more when someone else has nothing?
Right.
Like that blows my mind.
The fraud cases that I'm reading about, they're not little. They're substantial. They're millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it get to that point? That's what I don't understand. How does it get to that point? I mean, my conscience would not allow me. I would
arrest myself.
Right. I don't know. I like to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I really love my full night of sleep. So
yeah, I think anytime that I've even like my little toe went across the line in my current role or my past roles with you, I have to narc myself out immediately because I just can't. I just cannot. Like I can't sleep. I can't function. I can't eat.
You're grieving.
Yeah, like
you're
grieving. Like for sure, it's all gonna come crashing down. I mean, it's never been such a big deal, but like I don't know how other people like you said, like millions of dollars, and how you feel good about it.
Yeah.
Especially just knowing, like, so the one that's coming to mind because it's local is the one out of Green Bay that it's the housing, whatever. I don't know all the details, but I do know that it's coming to a head.
Yeah.
But that, and because we're connected to the housing world, like we have, especially in Green Bay. I mean, they had, up until last year, they had an entire encampment at a park.
Yeah.
Like with tents, like it was a tent city. Like and it was right down by the ADRC. So how can you go buy that on a fairly daily basis and then still take from an organization that is trying to like create solutions for that?
I will never understand it.
And how many of those people missed out on an opportunity for an apartment because of a $12 application fee that could have been funded through them, or they needed a security deposit that could have been funded through their grants? It's not like someone was reaching into their own pocket. These were grant dollars given. So this
is a hard topic for the fact that we support individuals in the housing world. We support, and we've had many members that have been homeless, living on the streets, out in the environment, out in the elements, that we will never understand. And they're amazing people. I still have the map to this day of one of our members.
Oh my gosh.
She set up camp in the woods. And when I met with her at the library, and I asked her, right, well, where are you staying right now? She drew me a map, and it had a road and it had trees, and it showed the X where I said, this is amazing. I don't know where this is, but thank you.
You
and
found it because you went.
But you know what? The most resourceful person I can honestly say I've ever met.
Anyone who lives outside, they are.
The hustle.
Oh my gosh.
The hustle that they have to live with every day.
The bravery. Like the bravery, like to set up at a camp and to figure out how to charge your phone, to figure out how to survive, to use the bathroom. Blows my mind. Like, absolutely. Wow. Like, and that's just it. Like, but yet what stood in their way from housing is almost always a $25 fee.
Always. Yep.
And landlords that make up rules as they go. That too, but usually it's the fee.
We live this every day, so this is a topic that absolutely blows my mind. It's definitely a fired up topic. Like, absolutely.
Especially because, like I said, this week was just rough. So like we have the one member who's living in a place where she literally cannot drink the water. Do not drink the water.
It says right on the application, do not drink the water.
Yeah. So like it doesn't get any worse than that. Like, well, it does. And then we also have the woman that is going to miss out on a housing opportunity because of $111, which she's not going to, because we're going to figure that one out.
She is not losing that. Absolutely not. I refuse to allow that to happen. It's the systems. And the more we get into this, the more I realize that the systems that are meant to help often create barriers on top of it. And it's not only housing, self-direction as well. One of the biggest barriers that I see is the onboarding process. We struggle with the onboarding process as support brokers. I can't even imagine giving this packet to a member and a caregiver who's never been in this world before and saying, good luck.
Figure it out.
There's very few, in my honest opinion, very few would make it to the end. They would not make it to that start date because of, again, it's no one's fault. It's the system that is put in place for it.
Yeah, and well, they make it very hard. I mean, it's not a small packet, first of all. There's a ton of wait time. Every fiscal agent's different, doing a different, slightly different packet. It's all the same information, just presented differently. But yeah, if you hand it, I mean, even the one member that I'm taking back on, they've been using that fiscal agent for a decade.
Years.
A decade. And because they know that our services are very limited, there's a lot of exchange back and forth right now, trying to do training on getting through that packet. They know that we can't help. So they're trying to figure it out on their own. And that's a packet they've literally seen 100 times, over 100 times with, I mean, in her entire adult life. And they can't, I mean, they're going to figure it out. They're going to be fine. But they're having apprehensions about figuring it out. Because
as they should.
It's, and well, in that fiscal in general, it's going to go through AI first. It's going to get kicked back to them. And they're going to have to redo it.
Yeah. And they should be apprehensive for the fact that, yes, they've seen this packet for the past 10 years. But again, I can't emphasize enough just the different limitations that people have when it comes to this. They could have the ability to complete this packet, but we have some that they don't even have the ability to write. Right? They don't have a printer. They don't have a eyeballs. Scanner. And not all technology is up to date to do DocuSign. And even if they did
on the phone, and I would say 90% of our applicants are all using their smartphones to do this DocuSign. I tried to do the DocuSign with my kids this week. That it's not formatted for phones. So no wonder these caregivers are like, never mind. Yeah. Because I was close. I'm like, kept trying to hit the button, but it wouldn't recognize my finger because it's not meant for a phone. The next button wasn't meant for a phone.
So I feel like the systems are there. They just need some improvements. And as we go, hopefully we see them improvements. We went from paper to DocuSign. That's an improvement.
Much.
Not all members have the capability or the equipment to do DocuSign. Not everybody has a smartphone, believe it or not.
No.
Not everybody has a computer.
Flips out there.
Yeah, we do. We have some that don't even use a phone. Landline. Don't text me. Call me
on my landline
because I have a landline phone. So not everybody is up to date with future technology in today's technology. So that's why a lot of our position is making sure that the ball keeps rolling. You know, we will come to you. We will bring our computer. We will help you through this because it can be a very daunting task for a lot of people involved.
Yeah, I always assumed that the younger the generation coming into the workforce, the more technically savvy they were. And just like so many things with this generation coming into the workforce that surprises me, they are not. They are not. They really struggle with technology, down to the DocuSign and the clocking in and clocking out, like on the web-based products that the fiscals have. I'm like, wow, like you guys were basically handed a Kindle at age like 4.5, and you can't figure this out. So I don't know where that disconnect is, but that is something that is definitely shocking to me right now, because I really thought these 20-somethings, these 17-year-olds coming into the workforce would have just more knowledge than our 55-year-olds. But that is not so much what I'm seeing. I'm really seeing, like, I've had to meet with several younger 17 to 22-year-olds to get them through that packet.
Interesting.
I know.
I find often, more times than not, they forget or they don't see that they have to attach their ID.
That is like across the board. Which is honestly, it's an easy fix.
Mm-hmm.
They can send it to us. We can send it to their info box. That's an easy fix if we know about it.
Yes.
We are sometimes excluded from that.
Yes.
And so we don't even know it's an issue until, well, we emailed them and called them and they're not getting back to us.
Yep. We're working very hard on building them very strong relationships with every fiscal agent. We have good relationships with all of them. But to take it to that next step and truly understand their process and how we can help so we're not holding anything up, but also, again, help keep the ball moving forward. If you're having issues, come to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. And most of the time, well, all the time, we are the point of contact. So,
and that's kind of, and I think there's just more conversation that needs to go on, but that is one thing that bothers me across the board is that they do want to make contact and they should have the opportunity to make contact with the new staff, but they're calling from 1-800 numbers, first of all. And they don't know them, but they do know us. So like, use us. Yeah. Use us. Like, we're boots on the ground. We are sometimes within the same community as them. So we can like, even like say, hey, meet me at McDonald's. We'll do this together. Like, I would really like to see them use us more in our roles to get the same job done.
Yep. And that's definitely our goal. We'll be meeting with all of them again, just to, there's turnover everywhere.
When there's growth, one of our
lot of growth.
Yeah. One of our bigger fiscals that we work with is going to see an intense amount of growth here in the next like 3 months.
Oh yeah. We already see it. Yep. A mass hiring and just working. And there's growth within the industry altogether. So if we can provide some consistency for members, that's the ultimate goal, is as all of these organizations, including us, see this growth, how do we keep that consistency on this level? Yeah. Because not everybody likes change. There's too much change or overwhelming amount of change.
That's why I was really hopeful that like Iris would have kept us around just for like if you're not going to keep us around indefinitely, that's a change that, you guys decided on and we'll just roll with it. Yeah. But like, let us help your member or your participants do that transition to their new fiscal, to their new, whatever direction they're going. Like, it's not even let us, like, let them have the support that they're going to need, whether that's to connect with options counseling because Iris is no longer a good fit for them, or whatever that, a lot of them are going to have like big changes with their fiscals. So like doing the paperwork again, because I was told that was going to be easy peasy, and it's actually not. Like it was, they had to rerun backgrounds that had been run 3 months prior. It was a whole thing. I had to sign another waiver. Like it's not as easy as I was sold to me.
Interesting. So you switched not only MCOs, but
I switched. MCOs stayed with the same fiscal.
Got it. Okay.
But they had to rerun backgrounds. One of my caregivers has like a misdemeanor, so I had to re-sign a waiver for the misdemeanor. I'm like, and same fiscal, but they needed to give me a new dashboard, so I still can't approve hours. And they needed to be done yesterday, so I still can't approve hours because it was even that part of it. Like IT had to change the dashboard over. So like it's not as easy as like it was like, it's going to be great, the auth will start this. And no, because I mean, if my caregiver wasn't a family member, you think she's going to stick around and as she's not getting paid for the last 2 cycles? Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I suppose it keeps some people in a position that they're not happy for the fact that
this is hard.
This is pick your hard. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Yeah. And but again, is that choice? Is choosing your hard a choice? And that just, it's not, like, in my opinion, like it is a choice, but like both, there's a consequence. Both feel like a consequence.
Yeah.
Of needing a service. You know what? I want that financial gentleman that we met at that event. Yeah. I can't wait to speak with him.
Yes.
Because another choice that is not a choice is that anyone who's receiving Medicaid long-term care waivers as an adult, you can have no estate. The state of Wisconsin will take it. So you cannot have an estate. I learned that when my mom died, and her estate is going 100% to the state. And so then I started thinking and researching Wisconsin. I'm like, because she's in Ohio. And I'm like, is this everywhere? It is.
Interesting.
And then I talked to that financial man, and he said Wisconsin's the most aggressive state.
Really?
Yep. In Ohio, I have to open the estate, and then the state's gonna liquidate it, however that word is. So they're gonna take it all. Wisconsin will fight to open the estate, and then take everything.
See, now this is a topic I know little about.
I knew nothing until my mom died.
I am very intrigued. I want to learn as much as possible about all aspects because I don't have a personal tie in a lot of these topics. So to me, it just...
Well, like I said, I would never have known. But like you think of our members whose medical costs per month I would have to exceed $20,000 a month in some of their care between their caregivers, wages, their briefs, chuck pads, all of their rentals, like their Hoyer, their hospital, but like all of it, plus their medical stuff. I mean, they could never afford to have commercial insurance, ever. They could also never, most of them could never afford to like go through the treatments, like MS treatment. I mean, my husband's Keytruda's like $12,000 a cycle. Like, who can afford that if you're not insured? So you don't have a choice but to be on Medicaid, because how else are you going to access care? Right. So is it a choice? No, you just don't get an estate, and we keep people in this perpetual state of poverty. And a lot of our members have kids, so like then they get nothing, and they also can't have anything while they're together as a family because you can't exceed your assets. You can't have a trust now, and he did tell me that in the ABLE account you can have up to $100,000 now, but none of it extends past your death.
Crazy.
I know.
That's crazy to me.
So it's not a choice.
That is.
Yep. And if you think about how fast that racks up, I mean, so quickly, and then the state can recoup in the contract 100% of it. So if you were to like hit the lottery, they can recoup their costs. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like people who are living on waivers, like live like you're dying because you're not taking it with you, and the only person that's getting it back is the state. So it's wild.
It's the vicious cycle. And we have multiple conversations around cycles, systems. Some systems are meant to keep you in the system. And it's hard. It's hard to get out of that cycle. Yeah.
I know. It was very mind-blowing. That the whole last year has been mind-blowing since my mom passed, but just learning that part of it and then like correlating it to like my experience like with my kids, and I'm like, goodness, like, so my son at the age of 19, like he's set up to have nothing.
I didn't realize that you couldn't have a state.
Well, he can have a trust, he can have the trust, or he can have his ABLE account, and he can have up to $100,000, and that can be used. It's very specific. Like he can use it for car, housing, stuff like that, but none of it like lasts past death. So like if he were to pass at the age of 50 and he had $100,000 in his,
so there's no beneficiary. The state is the beneficiary to that.
Yeah, same as like life insurance. That one is a little bit gray for me. I would assume that they would let you keep like burial expenses, but outside of that, like I'm assuming the state has access to take it. Once we have this guest, I'm excited.
This one is, I'm so excited. So we purposely started this, just you and I, just to kind of, this is our first time doing this type of journey and doing a podcast. So getting the jitters out and all that fun stuff. But once as of next week, we'll start having guests joining us, and just the different areas that are out there. These all these different aspects and resources that we still learn about resources all the time, every day. And it's something new.
And because of the area that we live in, you could drive 25 minutes, be in another community with a whole different set of resources. And we see that a lot on the housing side because the resources for assistance vary, county to county. But yeah, Neenah, Menasha, Oshkosh, Appleton, Kimberly, Kaukauna, like all of them are roughly 20 minutes from each other, whole different pot of resources and community access points.
Yeah. And where do you find them?
Yeah. And then like, where's the cutoff? So like this is only Winnebago, even though it's like, you could like walk across the street and be in Outagamie. So like, Yeah, it's interesting to learn new things. Even being in Shawano the last couple of days, just driving around their small area, I'm like, oh, they have this. And then I actually I did a phone screen yesterday, and she worked at Community Alternatives.
Yep.
And I'd driven past it thinking that it was like I thought it was like a day program.
Yeah.
She said it's more like a home, like more like an AFH.
Yep.
So I'm like, interesting. Yeah.
I love their building over there. Every time we drive past it, it's their office building, but
there's apartments upstairs.
Yeah. Doesn't it look like
and the messenger that I went to is right downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, where am I? Like, that's clearly apartments. And then in the back part of the building is Community Alternatives. The front was the messenger. And then she said, we do printing for all over the state. And I'm like, where are you printing? So confused.
Give me a tour.
Yeah, put me in.
Give me a tour. I love when we can go to places and they actually give us tours and they give us the background, whether it be a resource or on the housing side or whatever might have you.
When I stopped at the visitor center first, thinking that that's where I needed to be, and she was confused at first why I was there, but then it launched into go here, go there. And I'm like, these small town people are just the best. Yeah, she was like pointing me in every direction. I'm like, you try here. They're great. Talk to this person. I'm like, awesome. I'm going to. And I did. I went right down the street and found it. Yeah. Actually, I went past it and I had to do a little UE, but because I thought it was apartments.
I drive all over the state. One of my favorite towns to this day is up in Niagara.
Yeah, you love recruiting there too.
I love up there. I love the Northwoods. I would rather go north than south. However, there's some very beautiful places south. I love traveling west, but that community up there, I wowould feel safe if I got a flat tire and had to pull over, because I guarantee you somebody would help.
Someone's going to come to your rescue.
Yeah.
In Appleton, they'll just
keep
on going.
They'll honk at you. Why?
Get out of the way.
Get out of my way. There are good people. There are good people everywhere. And the fact that we get to travel all over the state to meet these people is amazing to me. But I still have yet to find a community that, for whatever reason, I post up there and you get applicants galore.
Like I've said a 1,000 times, but I was blown away by Egg Harbor. I mean, you drive to the tippity top. You're darn near at the tip of the peninsula. I couldn't believe the outpour there. I was surprised that there was that many people that lived there that needed work. Yeah, especially because it's so touristy there. So people come in and come out for work. Especially,
the small communities like Eagle River is a big tourist area, and we have somebody up there that really struggles during the summer, because you can go work at McDonald's or any place during the summer and you can make some good bucks, right? But then winter, they're looking for work again because all the tourists go away.
It came up last year, maybe it was the year before, but I still want to figure out how we can utilize caregivers that are coming over on J1s, because that comes up big time in Door County. I like every other applicant I talked to had a J1 visa. I just don't know how to onboard them. And the fiscals weren't able to tell me either. They are legal to work here. And when their contract was up in like whatever restaurant they had gotten a job in that like got them into the country, they needed somewhere else to secure. And I don't know. I was not able to get the answers I needed to get some of those people onboarded. But they were willing to work. And honestly, in their home countries, they were nurses and doctors and like teachers. And then here they're able to work fast food.
Yep. When we first started seeing this come up, we were very apprehensive for the fact that at that time we were getting a lot of international applicants, and they weren't here. They were still back home trying to come here. For a good almost a year, we dealt with that. So when this scenario came up, at first we're like, well, are they here, right? And then we started looking at numbers. Are they local numbers? Are they international numbers? But that is crazy where you are so qualified, but you're not qualified here.
Not here.
And I would imagine, I'm curious if we went to their
what
area,
transfers? I'm not sure what it looks like.
What are we qualified to do? Well, and as we learned in self-direction, we may not be qualified to even go next door in a neighboring state and do what we do.
No, I don't remember where it was, but you told me one of the states you have to have a certification, or was it a bachelor's in order, or social work? Do you have to have a social work something? to be able to like, because it's more case management, like it's actually a case management role.
Yeah, everyone utilizes the service a little bit differently. I know Minnesota, when I was at that conference, I was kind of blown away for the fact that I'm like, wow, I might not be qualified here, right? Because they are more in the beginning planning stages, it sounds like. And then there's different contracts. There's a county, but then there's also the MCO. I still don't understand it to this day. And the more I hear about it, the more I try to learn about it. My ultimate goal is to try to get somebody on this podcast from every state.
That'd be fun.
Tell me about your state.
I want New York. New York seems to have it down. Yeah. I mean, that one family that we were supporting, once they got to Wisconsin, they had a culture shock. They lost at least 30 to 50% of what they were getting in New York State.
Yeah. So
like they've got it cornered over there.
And from what I'm reading, Medicaid budgets or cuts are everywhere. Every state is experiencing this. I'd love to hear from every state how that might affect their services or the care that they're receiving or even their budgets that they're receiving. But the ultimate goal is if we can talk to every single state and truly learn how different it is in every single state. And if we can get somebody on here from the Self-Direction Center, please.
That'd be awesome.
Please, somebody come talk to us, because I truly, the more that I follow them, I absolutely love the mission that they're doing. And I feel like it aligns very well with our mission. It's about self-direction. It's about spreading awareness, because as we've learned year after year, how many times do we run into of what is that? We just ran into this with a county of somebody specifically asked to work with the support broker, which was our organization. And they said, I don't know who they are and I don't know what that is.
Oh, that happens a lot.
I struggle with this. I struggle for the fact that you don't know what you don't know. I get that. But the education that leads up to it, not only just about us, that's fine, but at least having general knowledge of what services are out there, who qualifies for them services, to be able to offer this choice. Because if you're enrolled in the program, you should have the choice to be able to say, I want to work with this, or I want this service. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we are 8 years into this and we are still getting the feedback of, I don't know what that is. I don't know what support broker services are.
I struggle with that. I struggle with that one. Yeah.
Down to this particular scenario of asking for respite. That's where it all came out. Asking for respite and saying, I don't know
what respite is.
Yeah, we do. Come on. I have a hard time with that one. But so all I can do is, here's the service code for, just maybe bring it up in a different way. Because it might not be that they just don't know what it is, that there's different terminology. So when I ask for something, the terminology just might not be right. So if you rephrase it into a different terminology, then it's like, oh, okay, that's what you want.
Respite is one of the very few things that translates between CLTS and the adult long-term care.
Yeah.
So like, that is just such a universal, I do not know what respite is.
Yeah. Down to the wording of, I just want to be able to go, I want to go on a date.
Yeah.
With my wife.
Yes.
Without my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. That describes it pretty well.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And that's
and
respite.
Everybody deserves that.
Everybody.
Regardless if you're enrolled in a program or not.
Like we were talking about yesterday, oftentimes what I'm finding is that natural supports are being really overutilized.
Yes.
And the expectation. And I made a comment, like I think our first podcast, and it didn't land well because I had a hard time understanding why we had gotten there. but it was, the expectation is that as a natural support that you just do the thing. You fill in all of the gaps.
Yep.
And I'm seeing that within our members. And that came up just yesterday with one of mine, is she just wants to go on vacation, and she hasn't had one in like 7 years. She just wants to go on a vacation. And she had asked for respite. I thought she meant respite. I'm like, well, we can help with that. Like, I'll start recruiting in the area. She wants a respite center.
Yes.
Which in this situation, I'm like, yeah, that makes much more sense. You're right. But the expectation is that the natural support, just do more.
Yep.
Just do more. And I'm like torn on that, because societally, yeah, like there was a time that we all just took care of each other. And it didn't matter if we were getting paid or not paid, but there's a real thing called like caregiver burnout.
Oh, absolutely.
And like the fight that I personally had in my personal life was, I want to stop case managing my kid. I just want him to be my baby.
Yes.
I have been case managing him since he was 18 months old. I don't want to case management him indefinitely. And it's not because I don't love him. I'm going to advocate for him until the literal second that I take my last breath. But at some point, like, can him and I just be mother and son? Like, but the answer is no. And that is where we stop seeing eye to eye. And then they were saying, well, you're already doing that, so we're not going to pay somebody else. And that's when I said, fine, pay me. Yeah. And all of a sudden now I can pay someone else to do what I was doing.
So you have to go through the whole rigmarole.
I just had to play a game. And I'm like, it was so frustrating, because like, and then like, well, we need you to take this caregiver burnout assessment. I'm like, no, I don't. I actually don't.
Hold on. There's a caregiver burnout assessment?
Yeah.
Like an actual form, like a quiz?
When I asked for help, they sent me a caregiver burnout assessment.
No.
And I'm like, so are you going to provide me long-term care? Because that's the only, I said, I have a counselor. I have on my own PCP.
Oh, no.
I don't need to do this assessment. However, the new MCO, I think I told you, they snuck it in on the they snuck it in general conversation. We were like halfway through, and I'm like, we just did an assessment, didn't we? Gosh darn you.
Sneaky. We have to ask when we have some of our MCOs on here, I have to know more about this assessment. Because caregiver, if you are a natural provider, first of all, if you're a natural support and you are a live-in, yes, there's going to be burnout.
Yep.
Without the services or the supports that you need as being a natural support. Do you have natural supports to turn around and relieve you?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, not for 100% of what I do. That's just it. Like,
but a lot of people don't.
They don't. And that's the situation I was in yesterday too, is that there is only one person that is listed as their SDS backup person. And they're toast. Like, they're toast. There is nobody else. And they're toast. They are completely exhausted. They're burnt out. And we do have like just like caregiver shortage. But it can't always just fall back on to natural supports. No. And the generation that is caring for our, like what would be our probably grandparent age, they're also in their 60s and 70s, 60, 65. And they're still working full-time jobs because
that's just it.
Economics are so bad.
That's just it. We're talking generations ago when family took care of family. They lived together.
And nowadays, wives didn't work, or at least one adult was not working.
Nowadays, everybody in this economy, people need to work. They need to pay their bills. So when does natural support become paid supports? Right. To be able to do this.
And that's one thing on like the kiddo side that still Wisconsin's not set up, but other states are. In other states, parents can be paid supports. And you might be thinking like, well, they're your kid. But if you held an executive job before you ended up with a child with cerebral palsy that needs 24-hour round-the-clock care because they have a trach, and you got thrusted into a world that you knew nothing about, you have to replace an entire income.
Absolutely.
And
it's 24/7 care.
Exactly. So, yeah, like it makes sense. And we have lots of people on our kiddo caseload that have very hard dynamics at home.
Very much.
And they're either burning themselves out till both parents are working, or one parent is not working and completely fried. So it doesn't matter. You're fried, period. You're just fried. Because it's exhausting.
AARP recently just published an article about natural supports and the burnout that comes with it.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's a real thing. And like, even if you're not caring for a loved one, even like the woman I spoke to yesterday on the phone screen, she's working full time for a facility, And I'm like, you really want to take on a side hustle, also caring for someone with pretty significant needs? Where's your burnout? And she was like, I am getting close, but I don't work weekends. And this would just be supplemental income. I'm like, well, you know yourself better than I do, but I just had to, ask.
Mm-hmm. That's a valid question.
Yeah, but the burnout is, regardless if you're caring for a loved one or people that you don't know intimately, it doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
Care is care. And that's a lot of times who was I talking to? I think it was a kiddo's mom. They go to work. Oh, she's a nurse for a very large facility and then comes home and takes care of her very needy daughter. And I'm like, you're doing this on both ends? Jeez.
24/7.
Yep. No wonder where all of our marbles are just spinning around in our heads. Can't make eye contact. Need weighted blankets at the end of the day.
Right. Yep.
Can't figure out why I can't regulate my sensory system. I'm fried. But that's the lived experience, and our systems that are set up to help are not. One, they're just under resourced.
Yes,
we're just 100% under resourced.
I agree. Yep. I hope the more that we dig into this, and the more that we uncover resources.
Yes.
That there's so many hidden resources out there.
And there are some gems.
Yes. And just watching the systems evolve as we continue to grow within this industry is my biggest hope.
Yeah. I've said it once, I'll say it again. My goal is to become somewhat smart enough to hold a conversation with someone within the realm of legislation.
Yes.
Because something's got to give, and we can do as much as we can on the front line, but so much of this, it needs to happen way above our pay grade.
Absolutely.
And the change there needs to be like an attitude shift. And like within certain counties, like you can definitely tell like who what the attitude is of the mayor's office, and what of your governor and stuff like that. And because it trickles down, and that's the attitude of the environment that you're living in. I'm terrible with names, but I do believe I think it was Governor Doyle. I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong, so forgive me. I think his grandson or granddaughter was on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
And he is like one of the biggest reasons why there was so much push for services. And then he's still, if it's him, there's still a foundation that helps get communication devices in the hands of autistic kiddos.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my son and my daughter were both recipients of that program, which I should know, but I don't, because I'm very, very bad with names. But they both received communication devices through that foundation. But it was the attitude that trickled down into the community that and now there's a foundation that supports people with needs, and it's still supported to this day and funded. Yep. So
it very much is. It starts from the top. It has to. And people follow that, whether it's positive or negative.
Yep.
People follow that.
Yep. It's very true. I mean, and you don't, in exposure too, like if we keep tucking these individuals away and not bringing their struggle to the forefront, then no one's ever going to know. Like until I worked for this company, like I knew the homeless population was bad. Like I knew it was bad. I saw them. I live in Appleton. I lived at one point near the bridge that they sleep under. And it was bad. I didn't know how bad. Until you were like talking to these people and like really wrapping your brain around their lived experience and the injustice of an $11 fee being between you and housing. And like, I just didn't know. So like, you don't know. Likewise, I had no idea the way that some of our members lived and the sheer creativeness that goes into living in a wheelchair full time and what that looks like and how you get around and like the weird things you do that make life happen. Like, wow.
Well, if you think how many individuals that live in wheelchairs and how few wheelchair accessible units there are.
And there's no mandate.
No. And they have to be creative. They absolutely have to be creative because they don't have access to some of their living environment.
No.
Most of their living environment for some of them.
I mean, with that population, it's you get what you get and you don't throw a fit because there's not options. Housing is better than not being housed, but like Yeah, and then their feet are held to the fire when they run their wheelchair into the wall. Well, yeah, how?
Every single time. How are you not supposed to hit the corner? And of
I
course
know.
it's going to. I love the most creative, taking a pool noodle,
Yep.
slicing it and
And then-
putting it on the corners and taping it.
Mhm.
How creative is that?
Yep.
And this is how resourceful people are.
Mhm.
Because I walk in and I'm like, wow.
The one, I think the property management did it for them, but they hung plexiglass.
Mm-hmm.
And they only had to worry about the 4 holes in the wall versus the entire wall being carved out by the wheels.
As they should. If you're going to house somebody who it needs wheelchair accessible, what do you think is going to happen to these walls? And then you're going to turn around and charge them for damages. They don't get their security deposit back, and they're going to have to pay for the damages. So as a landlord, I guess I would want to protect my investment.
Yeah, and do whatever. I mean, really, like 4 drill holes to put plexiglass up around corners is small potatoes compared to like literally some of the damage that I've seen. Because those wheelchair footrests, I mean, they're solid metal, and you can get to like, I think some of those wheelchairs go like 12 to 20 miles per hour, so you can really start hustling in those things. And you just take a corner wrong. I mean, yeah, the whole thing is gone.
They're not intentionally trying to damage your unit.
Mm-mm.
They're not doing anything. They're just trying to live.
The one that blows my mind too, because it's recent, is that there is no standard of ADA. So there is nothing saying like in a true ADA unit you have to have a cutout under the sink so that you can wheel up to it, or a roll-in shower. There's actually nothing that says that. And so then in the new constructions that I've been in their ADA units, the only thing that makes an ADA is the roll-in shower. I'm like, how's he supposed to wash his hands?
Mm-hmm.
Or do his dishes?
Yep.
Or turn on his stove, which they did correct that. They put in the low top for the stove. But like, so the damage when they put their wheelchair up against to wash their hands on however many times they wash their hands a day, their feet rests are going directly into that cabinet, and they get charged for it on the back end.
Well, and just think of how, again, that is creating, now you need somebody to help. It's creating more services.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Don't even get me started on that one. Jeez. Yeah, because it really is like just the thought of like the gentleman in Green Bay, he could be so independent.
Yeah.
If it was accessible.
Yes.
But he isn't, because he needs someone to reach his freezer. He needs someone to reach his dishes. He needs someone, and nothing is hung appropriately. Even like down to the door to get in. You're a full-time wheelchair user.
Should be the lever.
How does your door open? You literally push it open with your electric wheelchair, which does damage. I do have a member in Oshkosh who paid to have an electric door opener installed.
That's amazing.
I don't know how she did it. I'm sure her parents helped, but that's amazing.
But again, is there a resource out there to help fund that? And why should it fall on them?
Exactly.
And if there are resources, come forward, tell us.
I know, because we're
we
here
need
for
to
it.
spread this. And that's the hard part, is when we're talking to members, we know the resources that we've come across, right? And we often refer them back to talk with your case manager and see if they know of anything. But how many resources are out there that are hidden and that don't know about it that could be life-changing?
I would love to, like, because we recently had that one housing member who, from a very odd donor, they paid her rent. It was a very odd donor. I would love for like people who have extra funds in their business that they're looking to, offload before whatever the motivation is, you have extra something to give away. I'd love to like have somewhere for them to be like, hi, my name is, I have $25 laying around for something. I'd love if there was a database of some kind, because like I said, that donor that can't step forward, from what I can tell, is just a very medium-sized business owner in the area, like local. But it wasn't a small amount of money either.
And they were paying somebody's rent?
They paid someone's full
rent.
Good for them. I know.
Good for them.
And they were connected through, I do believe, a church. But I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that are small to medium-sized business owners that have to give, and they don't know where to give, so they give to the most common places that they don't realize are actually not giving it back.
Right.
Like, I was going to name drop. I'm not going to name drop.
We can't name drop. But I struggle with that myself, because I in the past, I commonly grabbed all of the clothes in the house, as kids grew, We take them and we would go drop them off at your common places until we started working with counties. And we started doing a give back program within the organization. And that's when I realized, like, wow, what I thought was helping doesn't, until you know.
It was just lining someone else's pockets.
Right. Where there are programs and there's other avenues to give back that truly do help. And it's these small organizations that they don't have a lot of money for marketing. They don't have the resources to get their name out there like the big companies do. And we face that ourselves. But yeah, it's just highlighting some of these small organizations and these small resources. That's a goal of mine.
One that I use locally now, I don't know if it's everywhere. I think it's just local here, but the community clothes closet, because they do so much good. They do not charge.
And where are they?
They're in the United Way building.
In Appleton?
In Appleton. Technically that's Menasha, but yeah.
So what do they, I'm not familiar with them. What do they do?
So that specific location, or it's within the United Way, but they take in donations and then they give it away. Like you could, if you can stop at night, they have certain hours and then you can go in and basically fill a bag and you take what you need.
So they don't sell it.
Nope. It's a true donation. It's a true
so
in and out.
You donate, they donate.
They donate.
That is amazing.
Yes. So like the domestic abuse shelters utilize them. They'll send people there to get what they need. Like after a fire, I know they've been known to get donations ready for them. They're a great company. They've been great, and they're super friendly. They're just very, very, very friendly.
Amazing.
So that's where I donate now. And it's not the most convenient because it is a small organization. So I think they have very narrow donation hours at their location, but they are partnered with Gunderson, and then one other place so that you can drop off up to one garbage bag full of items.
Okay.
Because they're a small location.
Yeah.
But at the place in United Way, they'll take all of your goods.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is it mainly just clothes?
Yeah, a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
They will oftentimes put out what they need for babies.
Okay.
Like if they have snowsuits and stuff like that. So that's kind of been my go-to. That's where I donate all my kids' stuff now.
I love it.
Yeah, 'cause I love that they just give it away.
Yeah.
Because I think with the other big box one that I can recall, my son needed a white t-shirt for a concert. And I'm like, well, I'm not buying one because he's never going to wear a plain white t-shirt. He likes his gaming shirts. And so I'm like, I couldn't find one at this place for under $11. I'm like, I am not paying $11 for a white plain t-shirt that was used. I'm not doing it. That was used. I'm not doing it. So I ended up going to I think Walmart and buying a pack of the Hanes for $7. To
wear once.
Yep. And never again, because he's never going to wear it again. But yeah, I love that they just give it away and that they make it accessible.